reporting and troubleshooting tools that help make the administrator's jobs a lot easier day to day as you, again, live with this work from home solution that you deployed. If you deploy a work from home solution, you've got to live with it day to day. You've got to be able to manage it. You've got to be able to use it effectively so that you can get the most out of it. And ultimately, so you can fix your end users' problems. So any work from home solution, you're going to run into challenges at some person's house. Maybe they've just got really poor internet quality on their fixed line connection. So maybe they're still reporting a lot of issues even though you've put a basic setup out there. So to dig a little deeper, you can come into the WAN quality reports. And if we choose that Ethernet WAN, we can see I unplugged and plugged that WAN in just a couple times there a few minutes ago. So that was me breaking stuff on purpose. But again, it gives you a nice timestamp, a nice flag to show you where those events happen. But then you've got just latency monitoring overall. So you can see, maybe the connection's not going down, but here we had a 600 millisecond spike. That's obviously going to cause some problems on real-time applications. So you can go back in time and correlate these problem reports from your users and really just see what's going on these individual connections. Now you can do the same on the cellular side. Cellular side, you get a little more details on signal strength and those kinds of things. So again, you can explain behavior that happens after the fact. So you've got the ability to kind of rewind time and see what was going on each side of the link, on each link at any given time. Another one that I like and probably is a better place to start than the WAN quality reports is just this connection up-down history. So you can see every individual time that a WAN went up or down, and again, you can choose which WAN you want to look at. So again, I've done a lot of failover testing this morning to prep for this webinar, so you can see I've unplugged and plugged back in a few seconds here and there. And then we can go back in time, back in December even, you can see we had some issues on the 16th there. So if we wanted to dig deeper into that, again, you can go back to that WAN quality report, choose the date. December 16th, we saw some outages on that Ethernet WAN. And there they are. Again, we can see there's a bunch of latency spikes and we had some outages, but then things kind of mostly leveled off after that. But again, you've got that ability to go back and rewind time to really explain any issue that might come up. Now, in a more real-time manner, you've got lots of tools to use as well. So you can remotely run pings, trace routes, reboot devices, factory default them, whatever you need to do, you can do that really quickly and easily remotely, but from the perspective of that far edge device. So we can just ping Google, see what happens. Cool, I'm getting great responses, really low latency. That looks like that's working well. We can try the same thing over cellular. Latency is a little bit higher, but looks to be very consistent. So, we can very quickly validate, differentiate between maybe somebody's PC issue and overall connectivity issues that really no computer is going to be able to fix. So again, you've got these tools right at your fingertips to dig into that. You can also dig into real-time clients connected. You can see we've got a MacBook Pro and a Yealink phone. So we've got a VoIP phone and a computer, pretty typical equipment. But this way you can see if maybe their kid's iPad is on here or some other devices you're really not wanting on this connection. So you can quickly see who's on there, how much traffic they're pushing, again, without even logging into that router. You can also get lots of reports on bandwidth usage. So you can see over time, again, if somebody's blown through their data cap, you can go back in time, see when they were pushing it. Maybe it's out of hours, maybe it's time, but then again, you can drill down to the client level and see which device is actually using it. So again, you can better validate if it's appropriate use or if it's maybe something that shouldn't be being used on a work from home solution. I'll show you one more tool that's new to firmware 8.1.1. If we go to Amy's router here, she's got a Balance 20X, and this is a great device. We'll show you in just a little bit here. This is really a nice work from home device as well. It's got built-in AC Wave 2 Wi-Fi, and new with firmware 8.1.1, we've got air monitor mode. So we can actually troubleshoot the air quality for her Wi-Fi connection at home as well. Maybe she's connected over Wi-Fi on her laptop, and you ran the remote ping and trace route tools and everything looked good there, but she's still reporting that things are slow, things are breaking up. So then we can dig a layer deeper and actually troubleshoot the air quality for her Wi-Fi connection. So if we go to Air Probe Reports and go to Air Monitor, we can retrieve whatever time or date we're interested in. In this case, we can see utilization is really clean across 5 gigahertz. So again, you've got these historical tools to trace back problems and really pinpoint exactly what's going wrong so that you can fix those issues quickly and find ways to prevent them from happening to that user in the future. One last tool that I'll show you is another good real-time troubleshooting tool. If we go to the status menu inside of the router and go to SpeedFusion, we saw this earlier. These are the two SpeedFusion profiles, but there's a graph here. I showed you that graph. That's this view. It's a fairly technical view, but really, really explanatory for an administrator to get in there and look at. But we can also just test the capacity. So if we want to just run a quick speed test, in this case, it's testing my hot failover. So it's really only going to test the throughput on the primary connection, but if that's stable, that's really what we're concerned about. So I can just run a quick test. And I shut that down a little bit early, but you can see we're pushing a pretty consistent 15 megs of upload. So we're getting great speeds on the upload. So again, you can go out there and validate it. As you've got problem reports from this user or that user, you've got tons of tools to really help you dive into where the problems are and where they aren't.